research is by coming on the island. That does not mean, honey bunny, prevention is better than cure, so follow the rules. And mosquitoes here just don't give a damn. One thing about Jamaicans, they are not gatekeepers. Hey y'all, so welcome back to my channel, and I'm back with another video today. As you can see from the title down below, your girl is getting into it. Today we are talking about how to move to Jamaica as a foreigner, step by step. Everything varies based off of your situation. If you are a descendant of Jamaica, yeah, we're gonna get straight into it. If you all do or don't know, my name is Crystal and I am currently living in Jamaica as a foreigner. I'm from Georgia. I come on here to just talk about my experiences, share my lifestyle. A lot of people come to me and they talk about how they want to move to Jamaica. And I always tell them that it differs for everyone, because if you are an American citizen and you are a Jamaican descendant and you have a grandfather, a grandma, or a mother or father who's Jamaican, the process of obtaining citizenship will be much different than someone who has no connection to Jamaica at all whatsoever. I have 11 tips to share with you all. So first tip, research and understand the Jamaican culture. So you can do this by booking a trip, going to Jamaica. If you're just thinking about moving to Jamaica because you see videos or you just want to get out of America or Canada or the UK, wherever you reside, if you are a little familiar with how Jamaican culture is, I understand, but I would just say do research, and the best way to research is by coming on the island. What other best research is there? It's very important to familiarize yourself with the culture and just like everything and how things flow here, because if you plan to move here, you have to be accustomed to how things work. Aside from taking a trip, I would suggest going to some YouTube channels that have content that is catered towards Jamaica, Jamaican living. I know foreigners who have moved out here recently, so it might be nice to go on TikTok, look at some things, some videos, see them share their experiences. And that's, you know, some research that you could do. I don't know if you want to take it as far as like getting the book. You know, if you're very thorough and you just like things to be a certain way and you want to understand from a certain perspective, I would advise get some books, look on websites. But the best research is to just come out here, feel the energy, and actually see if you like it. The second thing that you need to do, I say this in a lot of my videos, but because you may have not watched some of my videos, I'm going to say it again. You have to look into the visa immigration process, and you have to understand the requirements. If you are just trying to travel on a visitor's visa, you are a US citizen and you have a passport. If you have the passport, you can come over here for 6 months out of the year. That does not mean, honey bunny, that you can come over here 6 months and then when you go back over, your 6 months start back over if you go over and then come right back. No, that's 6 months in a whole year, 180 days in a year. That does not mean you come 180 and then you go back and come back. If you stay past 90 days, you have to get an extension. That's the only way that you're able to stay past the 90 days. If you don't get an extension, I'm not sure what will happen, but I have seen things where they say you get banned. I've never seen anyone get banned from the country, but hey, I don't know everyone in the country. I don't know everybody's situation, and I don't know what everyone has been through. So I would just say follow the rules. I'm the type of person, prevention is better than cure, so follow the rules. And you got 180 days. That does not mean you go over, come back. Go over, come back. No, 180 days in 1 year if you are on a tourist visa. The next thing you could do is get a work permit. Like I told others in other videos, when it comes to a work permit, it's very tricky if you're doing certain work. Like if you come over for a work permit, sometimes they want to see proof that there is no other Jamaican, no one in the country that can fulfill that position. And that can be a little tricky if it's like a larger corporation, but if you're doing like something like a mom and pop shop or something that's more local, something that's like a family owned business, it may be a little easier. Say for example, your cousin got married to a Jamaican, and you are really close with your cousin because, for one, this is your first cousin. And if your first cousin got married to a Jamaican, that does not give you the opportunity to come over because you're not married to the Jamaican. But say if that Jamaican has a business and they are looking for someone to, hold down a position, whether it's like a manager position or something like that. If you, the said cousin, would like to get a work permit, you'll go through that process, and then you will speak to that Jamaican that is married to your cousin, and then you'll go that way to see how that process works. So that's another option. When it comes to obtaining permanent residency, that's a different situation. You have to be living in the country for a good amount of years to be able to even apply for that, and that just takes some time. So permanent citizenship, it looks a little different, especially if you have no real ties to anyone in Jamaica. So you just have to do some research to figure out how can you maneuver that. But I would say visa requirements, the immigration requirements, is best to study it like a book to see if it may align with your plans. You don't want to get out here, uproot your whole life, and then you can't stay. Third thing is finding accommodations. Please do not do what I did. When I first came out here, I was a little unsure about my decision because of like other things that people were saying. So I was staying in the Airbnb, which became super stupid, super costly. It was too much damn money. If you're going to jump off the goddamn porch, jump off the goddamn porch. Don't halfway jump. Don't like stick your foot out there or your pinky or your big toe. Just jump. Because if you do that half stepping where it's like you just want to stay in the Airbnb, it can cost you a lot of money, y'all. And I'm not lying. It's just like unnecessary money that could have went towards renting somewhere. Like, ugh. So yes, do not be like me. Do not go out here just buying all these Airbnbs because you think you don't find the love of your life and you just want to come back and forth, or you just like a little unsure. I understand, honey bunny, I've been there, but don't do it, friend. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You can rent or you can buy. Buying is a little bit different when you are not a Jamaican citizen. If you are like married to someone or you are in a relationship long-term with someone and they're a Jamaican, they can go through the process for you if you trust them. But when it comes to you being a foreigner, it looks a little different. I would say try to get a realtor, get someone that can help you out. Google. When it comes to renting, you can go to places like Jamaica Classified to be able to find a local places to rent, or you can do it by word of mouth. A lot of things work here based off of word of mouth. I got a lot of opportunities and understood certain processes by just asking someone, whether that's like a driver, whether that's a trusted person that you know, like just ask around. People are not gatekeepers. One thing about Jamaicans, they are not gatekeepers. I don't know about everybody, but mostly like the culture of here is like not gatekeeping. If someone know about a job, they're gonna give you that job. Like people don't really gatekeep. That's not a big thing here. Of course, some people may do it, but it's not something that I see often. Areas to live, y'all know I'm a big advocate for like figuring out like what you want. If you want to live in Kingston, I've been out there to Kingston. It's a little different than Montego Bay in a lot of different ways. I would say when I went down there, based off like the looks, they have like Krispy Kreme, certain things that make me think about back at home. But it's just a lot different than what I've experienced in Montego Bay. So you just have to like look at certain things, go out there, figure out what you want, because every community is different and you just got to make sure it aligns with what you're looking for. When you are looking at these properties to rent online, most places will like you to come and see the place first. So if you get someone that's saying like, hey, make a deposit, pay this, or like they do a virtual visit where you can see the place and they want you to make the payment over online, I would say do not do that, because most places, when I was on the hunt trying to find somewhere, it was mandatory for them to let me see the place before even like moving in. And I think that's just like something that's standard procedure with renting places out here. So don't get got. Go and look at the place. Next thing is healthcare in Jamaica. You have two options. You can either go public or you can go private. Public is free. Like if you go to like Cornwall Hospital or like any of the public hospitals, to be seen is free. But if you go to a private hospital, you will pay fees. So that's expected. If you have insurance here or if you obtain insurance here, that process is a little bit different. But yeah, if you need the ambulance or fire, I believe, don't quote me on this, and if I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong below if you're Jamaican. If you need ambulance and fire, it's 110, and if you need police rescue, is 119. So that's like comparable to like 911 in America. Next thing is banking. So when you are trying to figure out finances is a big part of doing business here in Jamaica, or just like transitioning from the US banking system to being here in Jamaica. So you have a lot of banks to choose from. So first you need to do research to figure out which one aligns with what you want. You have NCB, you have Scotia Bank, First Caribbean International Bank, and you have Jamaica National Bank. If you want to look into those banks, you just go online, type out those banks, and you can figure out which one aligns for you. Most people use Scotia Bank and most people use NCB. I've noticed when I do foreign currency, and you know, when it comes as far as like terms of charging, when I go to Scotia Bank, I'm charged more than when I go to NCB when I use my US card. You will need specific documentation when you are trying to open up this account as a foreigner. You would need identity, you know, proof of identity, whether that's a passport, an ID. Some banks may not accept your ID from your other country, so I would just mostly lean on the documentation of like a passport. You would need proof of address. This can be done by providing a proof of a bill, like a water bill, JPS, cable bill, some sort of bill. You'll need something to show proof that you pay bills wherever you are. You can provide your leasing agreement as well. That can be a form of proof of address. Next thing you will need is your TRN. Your TRN is your taxpayer registration number. You need that for anything in Jamaica. If you're doing business, you need to go and obtain a TRN. That's how business flows in Jamaica. They'll need like a letter from your landlord, a reference letter from your previous bank, just to make sure that they know who you are. You need to provide is proof of legal stay in Jamaica. They will not just give it to you if you just here for like a visitor's visa or like vacation. No, they need to show that you have proof, whether that's through immigration or providing some type of documentation to show that you have the ability to be here legally. And then once you do that, you'll just go in person and then you'll go through the process that way. Next thing you'll need to look into is employment and income. It will be best to highlight like employment that may align with you being a foreigner. So that could be like education, tourism, healthcare, find work in those type of industries. I would say the work culture is a little bit different depending on the type of job that you are working. Some people, yes, do still have like regular 9 to 5s if you are doing like certain work, if you're working at a bank or something like that. But if you are working at like restaurants or like other jobs or maybe like hotels, sometimes the requirement of like hours is a little different. It can vary. If you're not working a job that's like shift based, it could put you in an uncomfortable situation to work longer hours than you expect. So you have to just take all those things into consideration. A lot of people love the beauty of moving to Jamaica as far as looking from the outside looking in, but when it comes to the reality of actually having to work in Jamaica and actually make the money here, and you know, the certain things that comes with being an actual resident, it becomes a lot. You know, then that's when you have to have that reality check and that culture shock to just know that, hey, it's not all funny games when it comes to the work community. It's a little different depending on what type of work or line of work you are in. Like if you're a policeman or like certain like government jobs, it's a little different. It may seem a little, you know, normal to you, but if you work in like certain industries, it can be a little tough to adapt to the work culture. You do have the opportunity to become an entrepreneur, you know, start your own business. That's a whole different video for another day, but that is another option when it comes to like employment and income. Next thing you have to really think about is transportation. For me, when it came to transportation, I picked up on public transportation almost immediately. Because I was here by myself for a while and I just had to make it do what it do, and I had to ask questions and learn things. Yeah, you always just ask the driver what's the fare, especially if you're thinking about moving here permanently and living here. You have to adjust to the culture, especially if you'll be working. You need to be able to have transportation to get back and forth, so you have to learn how to take the taxi and local transportation. It's not hard, it takes time. You just have to learn your routes and know where you're going, know where you can pick up your taxi. It's just a process, but you'll learn as you go. In rent a car, you don't have to have a Jamaican license. So your license for wherever you are, if it's a driver's license, it should suffice. But if you live here long term, I guess it would be nice to get a Jamaican license. I just don't really know what the process would be. because I don't have one, but you can get one. Like I always tell y'all, you can rent cars, but you have to factor it in that it can get pricey. Make sure you have a cap on how long you're going to keep the car and just incorporate it in your finances. So if you move here, you want to have a car like maybe a week out of the month or something like that, just make sure it aligns with you and it makes a lot of sense and it's not like a stupid decision. Also, if you are not familiar with the culture at all and you are just coming here just like, you know, not really knowing much about anything over here in Jamaica, you have to take into consideration language and communication. Language and communication over here is common and similar to standard English, but the official language is Jamaican patois. That is what everyone speaks. Mostly everyone. You have people from different, you know, places and different upbringings that speak other languages. Learning patois, I don't really know if it's something that, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say you need to learn it before you move here. I know people who learn it within 2 months, especially if you already speak another language. It might be a little easier for you to pick up on it. I'm really country, so it's hard for me to say things. And then because I don't like the way it sounds when I say things, I just don't say it. Like if like everybody like walk on, I'm like, I'm not even saying walk on. It's a no for me because I'm not comfortable saying it. My child's father be like, girl, just speak it. Like it's what you make it. Like if you say it, we know what you know, I know that you know. Like I'm like, no, I'm not, I don't feel comfortable. But it's not like you have to learn how to speak patois before you come over here because it is pretty much English. You'll continue to pick up like the slang and accents through constant communication and interactions with people. I always tell this story. When I first started coming here, my child's father, like when we finally met, he was like, hush. And I'm like, the fuck? What you mean hush? Because I had hurt something on my body. And he was like, hush. And I said, what the hell you mean hush? But he's like, no, hush me like hush. Like, it's okay. It's okay. It's like, hush, little baby, don't you cry, hush. But I thought he was saying like, hush, like shut your ass up, hush. So, you know, little things like that, you'll learn through constant communication and you'll pick up as you go. When it comes to the packing and preparation stage, like if you have went through this whole process and you're like, I'm moving or I'm going for a couple months and I'm going to stay out there. Preparation when it comes to coming out here, I would say it's mostly hot. All times it's mostly hot. If it's not hot, it's raining. If it's not raining, it's hot. Like certain months it's a little cool, but it's mostly at night. But I would just say prepare like hot tropical things, like outfits that are like shorts and dresses and pants if you might want to wear pants at night. But yeah, dresses, shorts, little tank tops, shirts like this, perfect for the weather. Sunscreen will be your best friend. I know people that look like me feel like they don't have to wear sunscreen, but we gotta wear sunscreen. We gotta wear sunscreen, y'all. So I would say pack that sunscreen. They have pharmacies here, so mostly like when my baby had recently got sick, he was able to get every medication that he needed here that he would get in America. So you have a pharmacy as long as you go and visit a doctor and get, you know, a prescription, you'll be fine. As far as like repellent, it may work, it may not work. The mosquitoes here just don't give a damn. The mosquitoes here vicious, honey. I'm talking about swappable. They will fight with you. Like they don't give a fuck. So that repellent can't hold them down, but you can bring it if you like. But I would just say if you are staying here long term, make sure you invest in a zapper. A zapper is like, you know, if I could put it up here, I'll show you because mine is out there, but you know, it zaps them and shocks their ass because there's too many of them. I've never shipped a barrel, I'm not gonna lie, but I've thought about it. But if you are shipping things, you have to take into consideration the customs regulations. Make sure you read all the rules, make sure you know what to bring, what to pack, what to not pack, so that you don't get like, you know, a red flag from customs. Like, oh hell no, like what this person trying to do, what they're trying to bring into our country. Make sure you follow all those rules. Like I told y'all, prevention is better than cure. Next thing is cost of moving. So it varies. It depends on like if you're doing a soft launch, a hard launch. If you just moving, you like forget it. Most of the time I always tell people like if you are coming out here and you're still a little unsure and maybe you come out and you get all this stuff done and you still like, hell no, I don't know if I want to stay here. I would advise to get some place that's furnished so you don't have to put money into buying things like a bed head or any of those things. Because if you come here and you don't like living here, you will have to sell those items, give it away to somebody, or, you know, just let your money go to waste. So you can, I think it's like certain storage places, but it's a little bit more different than like what you may be accustomed to. So I would just say like cost of living. If you want to bring everything over here, you can always get everything that you need over here by packing through your luggage. Like if you are coming, I think you can get like maybe like, depending on how many people you're traveling with, get about 3 or 4, check bags, and you can really literally get everything over here, especially if you're talking about like important necessities and things that you want. They have same snacks that we have most of the time. If like you go to Progressive and you're looking for more international snacks, they'll have them there, or even if you're in town, they'll have them there as well sometimes. But yeah, you can get the job done in just like check bags. Like you don't really have to ship a barrel unless like you're shipping stuff to your family, or you want to ship things that are larger for your child. If you're coming with a child, or like things that are very important to you that may be a little bit larger, you can ship, but you don't necessarily have to use a barrel. And you can buy stuff over here. You can buy outfits. They will be a little bit more pricey because of course like things are getting imported, so you have to always keep that in mind. When you come over here, things are going to look a lot different when it comes to pricing because things are imported. So you have to take that into consideration. Jamaica is very expensive. Look me in my eye when I say this. Jamaica is very expensive. Expensive. Like, it's expensive as hell. As hell. Like, it's no joke. So you have to also take that type of stuff into consideration as far as like getting you a budget laid out about how much you need to spend. Overall, the cost of like moving over here is not going to be that much if you properly plan. And then say if you move into a place, if you find somewhere that's probably like between 45,000 to maybe 100,000. I don't know what your finances are working with. If you go through a certain realtor or like certain company, you might have to pay first month security deposit and last month's rent. If you go through someone locally, sometimes it just really depends on what they want you to pay. They may ask for a deposit and then just first month's rent. So if you take all that into consideration, I would just say prep if you can about 400,000 JMD. You can kind of budget as you go, but I would say plan for like 400,000. And that's based off of like if you are moving into somewhere 45,000 to 60,000, between that range. Adapting to life in Jamaica can be a little difficult, especially if you are not a very social person, or you get really shy, or you're really nervous. Going out and meeting people may be hard for you. Like when I first moved out here, it wasn't really that hard for me because I love to talk. And I am a little shy now, getting up in age in the house most of the time. So I'm not really doing a lot of interaction with people on a day-to-day basis. So that can make you feel like in a shell. But when I first started coming here, I would meet people, talk to people everywhere I go, try to make friends. And yeah, you just have to get out, meet new people, go places, do things, go to Coral Cliff, do things, meet people. And your social life will continue to grow and elevate as you spend more time out here. Big safety advice: if you are moving out here, stay informed with what's happening in the news through like local news websites and like certain social media outlets, just to make sure you're up to date with what's going on around you. I know someone asked me this before under one of my videos, if there's like a big mass place like Eventbrite where you can find events and things to do. I'm not aware of that, but if someone in Jamaica sees this video and you are aware of that, please comment down below some ways that they can find out what's happening in the cities and places that they are living, so that they can stay up to date with things. Yeah, that's it for today, y'all. I encourage people, especially if you're a foreigner or if you're a Jamaican, to just comment down below your experiences, some tips for people that are considering to move here. I know that it is different for everyone. My videos are not made to offend people or to make people feel away or to strike a nerve. It's always to just stay informed and be informative as much as I can, even if it's basic information. I'm sorry if it's basic to you and you feel like it's something that you could have just read out of a book. That's not my intentions. I always like to bring my personal experience to the forefront, so that you all can kind of learn through my experiences and through my mistakes and through the things that work well for me. Just know that making this transition is very big. It's a big step of you, and it's something that you can do. The good thing about it, whether you're a Jamaican moving to America or an American moving to Jamaica, you can always just go back. Depending on how your situation is set up, you can always go back. If you try and you're like, hell no, this is just not for me, at least you can look back on life and say, hey, I did this. And just make the best of it, do the best that you can, and understand that living in Jamaica and visiting Jamaica is two different things. So open up your mind, your heart, and your spirit to know that things may not look like how you think they would look, because you are now living at this place instead of like coming to vacation. Unless you are doing like content and things like that, and you are basing everything off of content, it may look a little different. But if you are coming to work hard, or even if you have a work from home job, it can come with is different things and different, you know, issues. So just be mindful to just have grace with yourself, have grace with the country, and understand that it's a process. Don't force yourself to adjust. If you can adjust, go back home. If you just want to go back home, and just understand that you did not fail if it doesn't work out. But thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and know that I will continue to bring bangers each and every day. If you all want to see more things, also let me know. Reach out to me at eyeshine_bright. I am out. Peace. Bye.